Good morning. Recently, another group has come into picture. A group of apparently despised, tortured people who are refugees. And recently, just a couple of days back, United Nations passed a resolution asking that they be protected from genocide. I'm talking about the Rohingya refugees from Myanmar, formerly called Burma. And many people are criticizing India for not doing enough for these people. There has also been a strong, clear indication from the government of India to deport illegal Rohingya refugees. And some people are charging India with being insensitive to the humanitarian issue. Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau has already given a nod that after Syrian, then Haitians and El Salvador and now the Rohingya refugees would be welcome. People are also criticizing Aung San Suu Kyi, Nobel Prize winner, because she's colluding, according to them, with this genocide of the Rohingyas. The Western media is competing within itself to show the excesses of the Myanmar army, and European Union and United Nations, as per their habit, are joining this clamor. India's indifference seems to have been stemmed allegedly that they are refugees. But then they forget that India has played host to the refugees from Bangladesh and refugees from Afghanistan, so there has never been any indication of discrimination. Imagine, there are already 40,000 Rohingya refugees in India. If India was really not secular, would they be host to the millions of Bangladeshis, thousands of the Afghans, Iranians, and others? And now 40,000 Rohingyas are already settled here. And though being illegal, they flaunt Aadhaar cards and the voter cards. Now, what is intriguing is that the West media turns a Nelson eye, becomes blind to the fact that the origin of the conflict of the Rohingya is not new. It goes back to 1943, when the British armed the Rohingyas to wage a guerrilla war against the occupying Japanese. However, unfortunately, the Rohingya leadership turned to the local Buddhists and triggered a civil war. In 1947 and 1948, the Rohingya leadership sought to merge with Rakhine, the area where they live in Arkansas, with East Pakistan, and that was considered to be an anti-national move by the Buddhists. Naturally, it was like the Khalistan movement, or at one time, Telugu Desam movement, Tamil Nadu movement, when they wanted independence. That cannot be tolerated by any government. No session can be permitted. So, that low-intensity Muslim insurgency has been plaguing that area since long. Nevertheless, it could have continued as a civil strife, but in 1980s, the Rohingya separatism required an Islamist direct dimension, and the main group is Harkail Yaqeen, which according to the International Crisis Group, last year informed us that a 20-man group of Rohingya expatriates are controlling this rebellion. And where are they living? They are based in Mecca and Medina. They have received military training in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and now they are imparting training to the people Rohingyans over there. It is funded by West Asia, Pakistan, and even part of India. Do you remember what happened in Myanmar in August 2012? This movement, Harkai al-Yaqeen, enjoys the support of Muslim clerics. I'd like to quote from ICG report. HAY, that Harkan al-Yaqeen, promoting senior Rohingya clerics and several foreign clerics, have ruled that given the persecution the Muslim communities face in Rakhine, the campaign against the security forces is legal in Islam, and anyone opposing it is opposing Islam. So, the issue which was originally local assumed international dimensions. Now, providing sanctuary to the Rohingya militants can assuage West's troubled conscience. For India, it implies creation of a fifth column. Now, let's come to the reality. As I said, that there are 40,000 Rohingyans in India today. They are settled. Though illegal, they have been given Aadhaar cards. Some have got even voter cards. But 20,000 people have gone all the way to settle in J&K, Jammu and Kashmir. And they have not gone into the valley. They have settled into the Jammu and Ladakh region. Now, why go to a place where you are in minority? Why go to a place where you don't know the culture, you don't know the language? You could easily have settled in Bangladesh or in Bengal or go to Hyderabad. I meant to say where you have some cultural affinity, some linguistic affinity, but no. And then when you go to Jammu and Kashmir, the Jammu and Kashmir Constitution, Article 370, does not permit even Indians to settle there permanently. They cannot buy property over there. But these 20,000 people have gone and settled there, and they have settled not in the valley, but in the regions of Ladakh and Jammu, which are demographically more Hindus than Muslims. So, there are groups in India, and the intelligence agencies think that the whole move is to upset the demographic structure and ensure majority, if possible, otherwise parity between Muslims and Hindus. So this is a different case altogether. The government has never said that they are against giving refuge to the refugees. What they are saying is that they are opposing this creation of the fifth column. Now, these Rohingyas are settlers in Myanmar, and Buddhists are the settlers. So, Rohingyas are not originally from Myanmar itself. They have been a part of outsiders settling and then demanding division of Myanmar so that they could join East Pakistan, not Bangladesh. And, Wahhabi influences there in the poison that they spread against non-Muslims. I've seen jihadi videos of the Indian settled Rohingyas, and I fail to understand why the West media does not take care or look at the complete picture rather than looking at the picture in half. Blaming the crisis entirely on Sanju Ki is a lack of understanding Now imagine the Myanmar minister in charge of the border security informed the international media that the destruction of Rohingya village in the Rohingya community was a deliberate strategy by the militants to force a flood of refugees into the neighboring country Bangladesh and then on to India. The truth has to be established before the entire blame is put on the Myanmar leaders. As a matter of fact, they are a legitimate minority. They are a bona fide minority in Myanmar and they have a right to be there. There is no reason why they should be discriminated against. Now coming to that, Islam, I was shocked when the Turkey president and the Iraq president said that the Muslims over there, Rohingyas being Muslims, are being tortured and they should be had. What is Turkey and Iran doing to Kurds? They are Muslims. Why is it that all attention of Pakistan, Turkey, Iran and other countries is only focused on those disenfranchised Muslims like Kashmiris, Bosnians, Palestinians and Chechenians? Why not Kurds? Why not Yorba and Igbo? They are being victims of the state-sponsored terrorism in Nigeria, Togo, Benin. But most of the people in Pakistan, most of the people in Turkey, most of the people in Iran or in Saudi Arabia have possibly never even heard of them. Yorba and Igbo. Closer home. If your cause is humanitarian, where were you when the Tamilians were being oppressed in Sri Lanka? Why were you quiet at that time? So whole thing is basically politicalizing a humanitarian situation. And you have got to understand that the purpose is to support the wretched of the earth. But the wretched of the earth does not mean extraterritorial communities should be given when they are anti-national. Again, my question to the leaders in Pakistan, Iran and Turkey is, why are you quiet when the Uyghurs in China are being oppressed, when the churches are being demolished, when even the praying, the namaz is being banned? Why be quiet at that time? But when India takes an action to protect itself, doesn't deport 40,000 people, but is thinking of deporting only those radicalized people who have proven to be a fifth column, why all this hue and cry? A primary reason for the silence is that they do not believe in peaceful settlement. Can you believe 200? If it was so, why was Afghanistan nearer to India than Pakistan is? And the statement of Erdogan is simply shocking. He is talking of the genocide there. What about thousands of the people he killed himself? And what about his oppression of the Kurds? Let's not forget that the Arkan district, which is now called Rakhine, accepted the suzerainty of Jalal Muhammad Shah, the Sultan of Bengal, in the 15th century. It was a part of Bengal at that time, and Arkansis sound a lot like Bengalis. But they came under the Burma, at that time, now Myanmar, in 1785, as Burma got more and more ambitious. And then the British blessed that. The British ruled Burmese through Arkans. And then in 1935, that territory was clubbed with Burma. It was again in 1947 and 46 that they wanted to join East Pakistan, not Bangladesh. They have no love for Bangladesh, which is much more secular. So, the real issue is that the Rohingyas have yet to realize that they are Burmese first and Muslims later. The nation states have to take precedence over religion. And Muslims all over the world must not think that atrocities against Rohingyas as atrocities against Islam. Because if that was so, then they should take up arms against China for Uyghur, against Turkey and Iraq for Kurds, against Nigeria and Sudan for Yoruba tribes and Jokoma tribes. Today, there is a need to understand the realities of modern nationalism. As far as India is concerned, India has to take care of itself, and it's better to be sorry than to suffer the indignities and the pain of a terrorist attack. Let's not be in doubt that India as a state cannot condone creation of a fifth column. And choice for India is between compassion and national security, and naturally national security takes precedence. The responsibility lies on the Rohingya community to assimilate itself, not religiously, but nationally with the Burmese mainstream. Thank you.